Hello guys, it's been a while. I have not done this type of live for some time now, and obviously we are aware that it's lockdown or because of the coronavirus restrictions. Most things have been happening as you know, not the norm. So most things have been happening differently. So I have been working from home and it's been it's not always the easiest to have a very quiet environment when you're working from home. Even even as I am home by myself, the washing machine is on, and we are a family of six, so we are constantly washing. So I just wanted to share a few thoughts. I have not done this for a while, but I felt so strongly that I should share this because I was praying from yesterday about the next series I'm going to teach, and when you become a pastor, you must have bread to distribute every Sunday, and not just every Sunday, every time you meet. So you must be prepared in season, out of season. But I was preparing for my Sunday message, and I just said, God, there are so many things on my heart, but just bring something that I can be a blessing to other people. And so this morning, as I've been doing for the past month, I've had a privilege of doing the school run with my children. So I get the opportunity of taking the first three who are now in some form of school to school, and then even taking along the last one. Just this my opportunity to bond with the family. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am so thankful that I get the opportunity. And one of the things I do as a pastor is that I observe a lot of things going on in my surroundings. I make sure that I observe a lot, and so that I can make the messages that I preach applicable to others. So whenever I'm going for my school run, I have very good conversations with my children. And so this morning, the day started very good, and we woke up a bit late. So we were hurrying things up, and like most school run can be a mad rush, and they're screaming because children don't always listen when you speak once. So they're screaming, but we finally left the house, and my son was not in the greatest of moods, and my daughter, my first daughter, was very unhappy with my son's mood. So she said, Jordan, don't be so don't be so much in a foul mood. We want to have um, a joyful walk to school. And I said, honey, you can't just force joy out of him. You must show him joy, and then your joy will be contagious. And thankfully, it happened. So when it happened, we were having a good time, just beautiful. Brother, the first one, the second one, were just having a good chit chat, playing games, running around, and the last two were in their double baggy, and I'm pushing it, and they were chilled because I've seen mostly the behavior of the first two really affects the last two. So we were going, and it looked like, oh, all is well. And I was thankful, and I was chatting with them. And so we got to um, a place where trains cross. So we were waiting for the trains to cross. And then I noticed that there was a mom with three children, I think two boys and one girl. And one of the boys was having a tantrum, major tantrum. And so I felt for this woman. Why? Because unfortunately, not everybody in our society is very kind to women with children. especially with younger children. And I'm not saying this as a victim, but even my wife has had countless number of people making comments when, let's say, she's in the shop or she's in the coffee shop and the children are crying. Those people don't feel the need to be compassionate and considerate. They feel the need to just make a comment about how, you should shut your children down. And even I have experienced that, but very mildly, because most people don't do that to men as much as they do to women. They actually look at the men and they have to say, oh, that's so nice, you're a daddy and you're doing this. But I'm just thinking, like, yes, but my wife is as much a parent as I am, so how come I get the, oh, he's such a good dad look? And I appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. But then when a woman does, it's like, oh, well, she's supposed to be doing it. If she hadn't had that many children, she wouldn't have to deal with all these naughty children crying. And so some people can be unkind, but listen, that's up to them. If that makes them happy, good. But my point was that when I saw this woman with the two boys screaming up a storm, and she was distressed and she was trying to calm them, and they were not listening, and they were actually speaking in a different language. I think it's one of the Eastern European languages. And I stood there and I felt very, very sorry, and I wish I could say something to make the situation better. So I just pray that, oh God, help her, because I know it's not easy. It was happening to me about 30 minutes ago before we left the house. So I empathize with her. So then we moved on, and then we parted ways, and I dropped my children, and then I saw this woman, because I think one of her children goes to the same school as my first two children. So I saw this woman come, and the boy was still having it, just throwing tantrums. And I've seen it before because I have four children, and it's not very, very uncommon. So when we were in the school, then she came to walk past me, and I said, this is my opportunity to say something nice to encourage her. So I said, oh, bless him, he's not having a good day. And then he's not having a good day. So we we decided to um I decided to encourage this person. And I decided to encourage this person, and I did encourage her that, you know what, it's not easy, you're like, wish you all the best. And then I felt it was a good thing to do. But then this lady made a comment and said, yeah, I saw you with your four all quiet. And then this thought came up in my mind, that she is just comparing what she saw with what she has, thinking that is the reality. So she saw me with four children, two in a buggy and two walking, behaving themselves very well. And then she was with three children, and then one of them was screaming up a storm, making her look bad. So she just assumed that everything was hunky-dory with me, and then everything was not so well with her. And it started making me think, and I didn't judge her, and I just said, that is just how human beings think. When you see something, there is a tendency to compare what you are doing with what the person is doing, and to think that, oh, they have better results than I do. And I started thinking, and I said, wow, that is how most of us lose our joy. So I've heard this saying, comparison is a thief of joy. But I started thinking, contentment is also the chief of joy. Contentment is what will make you have joy in your life always. But I was telling myself that I'm not being judging the woman. Of course, we all do it. You just look, you go somewhere and your child is crying and you think they're embarrassing you, and then you see another child just sat down, let's say reading a book, listening. You think like, oh, I wish my child was like that. What we do to ourselves mostly, not just with children. I just use this morning situation just to think of what we always do. We take our eyes off what is happening in our life and we look at what is happening in other people's life that looks pleasant, and then we lose our joy and we think, oh, I wish it was me. And then we start being sorry for ourselves. So I decided, you know what, let me maybe start developing a series on this. So I felt I'll share this, and I'll encourage you today, wherever you are. I know there is enough reasons for you to look all around the world, to look on social media, to look at somebody's Twitter, to look at somebody's Instagram, and look at all their stories, their timeline photos, and think, oh, how beautiful their life is and how rubbish my life is. But that is one of the biggest thing. It robs you of your joy because you are comparing, and your comparison is even flawed because you don't see the whole picture. But I believe that when you learn to be content, you have joy. When you learn to be content, you have joy. So wherever you are, I want to encourage you this morning that comparison will be the thief of joy, but contentment, be thankful for what you have, no matter how insignificant you think it is. It is very much worthy if you become thankful and not have a sense of entitlement and start looking, why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? But rather thanking God for even the privilege of being alive. So thank you guys for your time, and God bless you and have a nice day. Thank you. Bye bye.